Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome for our video today. It's about translations or English Indonesian translations. If we are talking about the translations, the question is, where's the translation? So the translation is the process which is intended to find meaning equivalent in the target text. Then translations is the communications of the meaning of the search language text by means of an equivalent target language text. And then for the generally, translations is a process of rendering meaning, an idea or message of the text from one language to other language, and then it is necessary to understand the concept of translations as mentioned by many translation theory to obtain an overall pictures of the translation process. And then about the translations consist of the studying the lexics and grammatical and then structures and then the communication situations and culture context. And culture context is related of the search language text, and all these are analyzed in order to determine in the meaning. And the same meaning in the reconstructed using the lexicon or grammatical structure which is appropriate in the target language, and it is cultural context. And we are going to talking about the very first example about that. If we are using Arabic as a source language and English as a target language, we are say in Arabic Ana Muslim. So becoming the source text, whose the lexical, grammatical structures and communications and culture context are analyzed in this order to determine its meaning. So the meaning of the reconstructed using the lexical and grammatical of the structure which are appropriate in the target language to the extent. So the meaning is Ana Muslim is reconstructed thus I am Muslim. Okay, we are going to talking about skill needed to be a good translator. Well, if we are going to talking about how to be good translator, we need some skill. Yes, we need some skill to be able to good translator. And then in the popular belief to translate, some people only need it in the number one. You just need writing skill. Why writing skill? Because translators are expected to be able professional writers, so they need to be knowledgeable about the grammar, vocabulary, and style of two languages at least. And then for the next about the research, of course, the translator may get very different text to translate from one day to the next, and then so they have to do research as much as possible. And then for next, good culture awareness. So we need that because intended meaning mostly determined by the culture's implication in additional to the textual meaning. And then for the next, reasonable knowledge of the foreign language. Of course, you need to be able to read widely and easily in your foreign language and understand not only what is say but what is really mean. So not always the same thing, but those of practice reading. So watching TV and film, or reading to the radio, or listening to the music is in your foreign language will be help you to understand the another language. Then long as variety experiment, and then for the last, a view good dictionary. Don't forget to view very good dictionaries. Okay. Then if we are talking about good and bad translations, it is in fact virtual impossible, exactive in extreme case, to draw a line between what count as a good translation and what count as a bad translation. So every translation has point strength and point of the weakness, and every translation is often to improvement. Okay, then for the good translation, based on NIDA, that the following requirements of the translation is: 1, it must make sense, and then number 2, it must convey the spirit and manner of the original, and the third, it must have a natural and easy form of experience, and the last, it is produce this similar response. Then high quality translation. Where's the high quality translation? It must be many things. Number 1, easily understood, of course. Then number 2, well written. And number 3, through the spirit of the original as well as the meaning. And then number 4, true to the context of the original in the terms of history and cultures. And for the last, you will be able to make explicit that which is implicit in the original with destroying the meaning. Okay, so what is about the good translation? About good translation is creating a good translation as manner of grammar, vocabulary, and culture knowledge. And then you must be familiar with all aspects of the source and target language in order to other one. Okay, that's all for me about the translations and what is the bad and good translation. There's for material for today. That's all for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.